Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review, and it is Eaglemoss Day, so on the channel, we are going to be taking a look at the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-F. I know what you're all about to say, but Finch, we've already reviewed the F twice, in fact. Yes and no. So the story behind this one is when the F came out back in, I think, 2019 or so, it started as a special edition, and there were going to be two versions that were released. The Star Trek Online one, which came a bit later, and that's the ship that we know and love, we've seen in its basic livery, but the first release was the Federation livery, which we see before us, and that was kind of a recolor as a the typical Federation series color palette. And then, of course, the Star Trek Online Collection's Yorktown refit after the Enterprise's battle with the Iconians. So this was the first release, but it is the last one. We're going to take a look at the last version of the ship. We're going to take a look at it. We will take a look at it today. But first, we all know that the first thing about that we're going to take a look at, excuse me, I can't talk today. We're going to take a look at the magazine first, as the stand makes a little howling as it goes across the table. So there is the magazine, and of course we have a nice shot of the Enterprise F, all nice and 3D rendered. Look at that NCC-1701-F Federation livery. It is an Odyssey class, length of 1,061.1 meters, and launched in 2409, and it is from Star Trek Online. That's where the ship was born. And then, of course, we have our table of contents profile, U.S.S. Enterprise 1701-F, designing the Enterprise F, Star Trek Online, and there, of course, we have our stand instructions, and there, of course, we have a nice shot of the F, and it's STO livery. It is built by Starfleet. It is an Odyssey class, 1,600 crew, launched in 2409, and captained by Vakel Shawn, who I believe is our first Andorian captain in the storyline of the Enterprise. But that is off of STO as well. And then, of course, we have the Enterprise F also in its STO livery, looking really good. Again, this ship, I really had to warm up to it, but man, I love this ship. Absolutely. Now, I certainly think this has the capability to carry on the Enterprise name. Set in a war-torn 2409, Star Trek Online saw Starfleet develop a bold new iteration of the Starship Enterprise. And there we have that. And oh, we got a little, oh yeah, I forgot. For those that don't know, and you're welcome to use it this way, I'm not sure if this still works. This was released with a code for Star Trek Online, I guess, to get your own Tier 5 Odyssey class. So there you go for that. I'm not sure if it'll still work. It's a couple of years old, but hey, you're welcome to try it. And of course, there we go for U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-F. Nice rendering, of course, in STO livery. That's the typical livery that it's seen in. And then, of course, we have the Enterprise F. And then, of course, I believe this is the Chimera class, looking very cool. And then we have some sketches and whatnot. And then, of course, we have the original sketch. I believe this was as per its original sketch, so you can see it does look a bit different. I was told, I don't play Star Trek Online, but if you do, feel free to chime in the comments. I was told the ship was released in this format as a different class, thus not the Enterprise class. And then, of course, we have some 3D renderings of what the F could look like with that twin breast neck section. And then, of course, we have some 3D renders of F concepts. I actually do like this concept very much. It looks very cool. And then, of course, we have the F more smoothed out, what it looks like over here. And then, of course, we have some sketches of the F in its online livery. There you have the, I believe it's the Dragonfly class. I'm not entirely sure, but that rests in the back of the ship right there. Always love that. And there's a bridge shot. And then, of course, I believe on YouTube, you can tour the bridge of the Enterprise F. Somebody made like a 3D model. I'm not sure if it's from Star Trek Online or whatever. I forget the site, but just tool around YouTube. And then, of course, we have our orthographic views, of course, in Star Trek Online livery. And then, of course, we have a bit more about Star Trek Online. There's our great captain, Vakel Shawn. And there we have, of course, the Enterprise F before it's refit into the Yorktown refit after the battle with the Iconians. That much I do know. And by the way, again, like I said, I've never played Star Trek Online. So if you are a player of the game and I'm getting any of the story elements wrong, feel free to comment down below and let me know. And then, of course, hey, finally the Federation livery, nice upper orthographic view. So there we go. So, of course, we start off with our typical stand instructions, and it's just like pretty much every other Eaglemoss stand. You have the rectangular peg. You just insert the the stand, and that does wobble a bit, but overall, I've never had it. This one has never been a problem child for me. And then you're just going to take the stand pylons and put them around the nacelle pylons, and it is quite a firm fit. I'm going to tell you why. So I believe I mentioned this before in a previous Enterprise F review. The Bonaventure special from the Ships Align calendar and this were released at the same time, but they switched the stands on them from the factory. So the F got the Bonaventure stand and vice versa. And so the F does fit with the Bonaventure stand, but it is a bit of a tight fit. And I believe all the Fs were released with that stand. I don't think they ever corrected it, but feel free to let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But let's take a good look at the F, get it off its stand. And I'm going to start off straight away. This is my least favorite iteration of this ship. I just don't care for the bland color palette on this ship, especially after the beauty. I consider the STO and the Yorktown to be some of the best looking Eaglemoss ships ever in terms of color. But it does feel very good for one of the small models. You can tell there's some metal die cast in the saucer, or the chevron section, I believe they call us. And again, it does wear these colors well. I will give it that. Got some nice gray accents right here. Got the nice pennant spanning the length of the ship. And then, of course, you got the nice shuttle bay detail right there as it goes over. And you can just kind of see that you got that opening right there. I do like that. Very good. And then, of course, we have on the front, we can see NCC-1701-F U.S.S. Enterprise. It is a bit lopsided. It doesn't bother me too much. And then, of course, we have the Federation pennants, or the little Federation, United Federation lines. Got a nice hue of gray up front here, and then you got a phaser strip drawn down along the side. You got some little insets here. That looks really cool. You can see, just kind of going into a section of the ship. Got a little more of the Federation pennant right here. You got the bridge right up here. And then if we look, the impulse engines on the chevron are painted in red, and then we can see we got some red paint coming out of the impulse engines for the star drive section. You can see they're actually built into the nacelle pylons. That is pretty cool. Got the dragonfly back here done in a nice gray. You can kind of see like the little bridge deco decal that looks really, really good. Again, lots of nice subtle details in this ship. And then, of course, no transcolored plastic on this. You got the nice blue. I don't think it needs it. Again, this is really beautiful coloration right here. Got the blue for the warp core area and painted red for the Bassard collectors. And then, of course, if we go down, we got the little NCC-1701-F. I do like that. Got a Federation pennant, and we got, again, some more gray detail. Nice hue of gray on the bottom, and the deflector done in a really nice baby blue, and then a deeper blue, looking really good. And they got some gray Aztecing on the bottom right here. Looks really, really good. NCC-1701-F. Got the little sensor dome down here. This just looks absolutely superb. We got a phaser strip on either side, looking good. And again, you got the pennants going along the bottom, more Aztecing detail. Got the little warp core section for the dragonfly. I love how the dragonfly is detailed. And you got some detail on the lower side of the nacelles, which looks really, really good. And then, of course, NCC-1701-F, again, a bit lopsided there, but overall a really cool little ship. I mean, even if I'm not a fan of the color palette, it does look really good. And whoa, I dropped the stand there because we're going to get ready and do some comparisons, and we're going to do the only real comparison that matters. Let me get the camera situated. We're going to bring in, of course, the STO version, so you can kind of see how that looks. And the STO version, pretty much the same size, almost exactly the same ship, just done in that different Federation at Star Trek Online deco. So there is that. And then, of course, we will bring in the other version of the Enterprise F, the Star Trek Online Yorktown refit that we saw after the battle with the Iconians. And there we go for that. And again, I love the coloration. Drop the F from STO from its stand. I love the coloration on the STO and the STO Yorktown. I think it's really good. I think it's some of my favorite Starship coloration ever. That's why I kind of just find this. You see, it's just kind of a dull gray, and it's kind of bland. Some people are a fan of the Federation colors being rocked on there, though. Again, I just kind of think of it as two different eras of Federation. But yeah, there you go. And again, a beautiful ship. I think it's definitely worthy of the name Enterprise. So yeah, there we go for a quick comparison. So let's summarize, and there we have it for the Eaglemoss Hero Collector Star Trek Special Edition Collection U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-F in Federation livery. Wow, that was a mouthful, as most Eaglemoss stuff is, but nevertheless, there we have it. And yeah, overall, this is a really cool ship. I love the Enterprise F. Again, got a decent weight to it, especially for the size of the model. Model feels well built. Paint is beautifully applied, albeit more sparingly than the other two versions of itself. You got no nacelle misalignments as far as I can see. Just a really good looking, really nicely well detailed ship. Eaglemoss had done this ship justice. Even in this small model, my only regret is that we never got a bigger version of it. Only real complaints with the model is that, of course, the NCC-1701-F does have a little bit of misalignment, but that is not a killer for me. I still think this looks like a great ship. And that being said, if you want your own Enterprise F, I will put a link to master replicas if I see it on there, so you can get one yourself. Not sure if it's still available, or not sure what version is still available, but you can definitely check them out. I do highly recommend this ship, especially if you're a fan of Star Trek Online, Star Trek Picard, or just the F in general. So there we go for that. And that being said, if you found this review fun and informative, consider hitting that like button down below. Also, if you have not subscribed to me yet, thank you so much. If you are, consider subscribing to my channel. I do Eaglemoss anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week, and of course we're waiting on some new ships. We got one coming in on the way. I can't wait to show it off, and so consider subscribing to my channel for that. Also follow me on TikTok. I am starting to do a few TikTok videos, mostly to get publicity for this channel, but I'm always down for more subscribers and more viewers on there. And that being said, I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.